in terms of creating the plot, I'm going through the code of each step of the process. And then you can see the code. And then in the margins, I've got annotations, which will give you an explanatory note for that little bit of code if you need it. Okay, so let's go through this one step at a time. So most of this is pretty straightforward, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the stuff that's a bit easier. To start off with, we've got our flight starter, and I've just selected a few variables because we don't want to work with the entire data set. So we've got the carrier, the time hour, which is that time and date object, and then arrival delay. Those are the three that we're interested in. And then I've just said flights head. So I've got flights equals flights. So I'm overwriting the flights data set, creating a new data set that just has these. And then I've asked just for the first 10 lines. And there it is right there. Airlines data. This is basically just to show you what the airlines data looks like. We've seen that. To join the two. Now this is not difficult. There's a function called left join. What left join will do is on the left hand side, put the first data set that you put in to as the first argument. But because we're piping flights into left join, flights is actually the first argument. So flights will be on the left, and on the right, there will be the variables from the airlines data set, and they will be matched up by the carrier variable, right? So we've seen that the carrier variable, that's this one here, is these abbreviations, and we've got that in both data sets. Okay, so easy peasy lemon squeezy. Join will give you this data set down here that's got everything that you need to create our visualization. Next, of course, we just did a filter. This is just to extract out 4 different airlines that we could do the data visualization with so that we wouldn't have too many. That's the only reason we've got that there. Now, to extract out the month, we want to create a month variable. Okay, so we've got to use the month function from lubridate. Okay, now I know this line of code could look a little bit confusing because we've got the word month sort of twice. So the first month is the variable that we're creating. We're creating a variable called month using the mutate function from dplyr. Then we're using the month function from lubridate, and we're telling the month function to look at the time hour variable. That's the one with the date and time in it. And then we're saying label equals true. In other words, when it creates this variable called month, we don't want the number. We don't want it to say 1, 2, 3, 4, January, February, March. We want it to say January, February, March, and abbreviation equals false. We want the whole word. Okay, so not too complicated. You can do that. Now we need to create a summary, and let's think about what that summary needs to look like. It needs to have the average for each airline for each month. So like American Airlines in January, what's the average arrival delay? Then American Airlines in February, what's the average? Next airline